It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Yes, it is showtime. It's Geno Jones Showtime. Coming to you live, Monday through Friday, unless I tell you otherwise. 7:30 p.m. Eastern on the East Coast here in the Carolinas. 6:30 in Chicago, everybody else Central Time. Texas, early voting. Shout out to Houston and Dallas, Austin, Texas, San Antonio. All right, Central Time, 6:30 early voting. Jasmine Crockett for U.S. Senate. Cast that vote right now. Show up for yourselves. Don't complain about the madness and the secret police, with so many names I want to call them, the invasion force, secret police invasion force, racist, misogynist, sexist murderers. You don't like innocent American citizens being shot and murdered in the middle of the street in broad daylight in major American cities? And show up for yourself and show up for, let's show up for yourself and show up for each other. And for the folks that can't show up for themselves, do that. All right, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast, live in Los Angeles and Las Vegas, and all up and down the West Coast. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. Once again, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. We are to count down 10 new subscribers from becoming a YouTube partner. Yes. So spread the word. As a matter of fact, 10 new subscribers from my media company, getting a check basically from YouTube every month. All right. So, by the way, everybody, let me give you a heads up. Just, because the enemy gets upset when we tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil. So, as a matter of fact, I'm walking right back over here. So we're going to talk. Well, I'm not going to talk about. But today is Tuesday, so a lot of people know what that is. If you don't, that's probably good. But I'll get into that later. But the show is interactive. What does that mean? That means everybody watching me live at about 7:32, 7:33. If you got a comment, you got a question, you want me to shout you out, celebrating birthdays. So what is it? Pisces. It is your time to shine, Pisces. I got you. I'll shout you out. Jump in that chat room. Live chat room is open. I want to shout out to the cast that was on with me last night. Got a new show coming up real soon. When my life changed. So shout out to Vanessa Stanley, and we had some of the cast members from Advanced Right. He's like the main dude. He's the big CEO playing this guy named Jason Whitfield. The woman that plays his wife, Veronica, her name is Tasha. And we had the mom, so his mom, the woman that plays Viola Whitfield, Paula Walton, and then my girl, guest co-host, superstar, queen of all media, Miss Christy Kayla Baxter, Miss Plus Size, Charleston, South Carolina, for 2025-26. She is one of the stars of the show. She plays Aunt Janet. She is Veronica, the wife's aunt. So yeah, it's gonna get messy. But they've got they shot a pilot, and they've got March 21st. They have a screening here, West Ashley High School. They got I've hosted events there. It's a beautiful auditorium. So they were on last night. So shout out to everybody that tuned in last night. Back watching me again tonight. We'll have some more cast members on next week. And leading up to the red carpet premiere, it's going to be March 21st here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro area, actually the West Ashley neighborhood of the city of Charleston. So I talked about it a little bit last night. So let me take a minute. Once again, the show is interactive, everybody. So you got a comment or a question. I love to get your take. I told you about the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. They call it BAFTA. That's what it means. Basically, like all the movies, the films, all the television shows, they have their own. It's kind of, if you took the Academy Awards, the Oscars, and the Emmys, and put them together, that's what this BAFTA, British Academy of Film and Television Arts Awards. So it's like their Oscars. So Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, who are stars, two of the main stars in the movie Sinners. They got their director. Shout out to Ryan Coogler. He was the first person of African descent, Black American, to ever win a British Film and Television Arts Award. So shout out to him. That says more about the folks over in Great Britain with their version of the Academies and the Oscars. That says more about him. We know Ryan Coogler is great, all the way back to the movie Fruitvale Station, and then of course Black Panther, and Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, and soon to be Black Panther 3. So we know Ryan Coogler is amazing. Sinners was amazing. So Michael B. Jordan and my man Delroy Lindo, they were presenting an award, and literally in the middle of them presenting the award, this dude who has Tourette's, his name really don't matter, but his name is John Davidson. So he yells out the N-word, like, trigger, take off the TR. And this is like right in the middle of Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo's presentation. So, I mean, there were so many layers of conversation. I'm just going to kind of recap and go back, because some people criticized Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo because they felt that they should have spoke out more. Listen, nobody should have any smoke for Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo. That's just my take. Now, we can have the conversation about holding people accountable, and I'm good with that. But if you saw the video, and it's easy to say what you would do when you're not in that situation, but I watched it, and I watched it over and over, and then I watched the body language, because you could, like, here you are, just like being at the academies, all of a sudden, well, let me just say this. Common sense, you would think, let's just say, I'm just trying to make a comparison. Just imagine if Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo are at the Academy Awards this year, and they are presenting, in the middle of presenting an award, somebody yells out the N-word. Now, in this climate that we're living in this regime, with all the full body, with full chest, standing 10 toes down, open racism, bigotry, white Christian nationalism, some call it white supremacy, I call it white unsupremacy, insecurity, inferiority. But in reality, you wouldn't really expect, not at that, it just, because you're presenting an award, you got a teleprompter, you're looking into the teleprompter that has a camera, so a prompter is a camera that has a script that they move. So it's really like two cameras, really. But so you could tell they were like, it was like their body language was like, what was that all about? So no one should have no smoke for Delroy Lindo, for a whole lot, or Michael B. Jordan, for a whole lot of reasons. Because to their credit, they remain professional. Now I know some of you all wish they would have pulled a reverse Will Smith and went into the audience and beat the shit out of this dude. That wouldn't have, and that would have done what? It would have made some people feel good. Yeah, you beat his ass. But then you reduce yourself to his level. And Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, why would they stoop to his level? Why would you literally punch down? Why would you even dignify his ignorance in the moment? because it happened in real time. So let's have this conversation, because I got more time. I had guests last night. I couldn't really take a deep dive. But yeah, we're going to do that. First of all, and I talked about this last night. So these awards that started back, I believe, in the 50s, maybe early 60s, the father of of the current Prince of England, the current King of England, and the Prince Andrew, who is in jail, who they stripped his title, kicked him out of the house. It's like, dude, you on that Epstein, you going over there with that. You disgraced the family. We are not effing with you. Going over there. And then they arrested his ass, and the prince was like, hey, wasn't me. My name wasn't in the Epstein files. That's on him. Go get it. That's my brother, but I ain't got nothing to do with that. Get his ass. In essence, that's what happened. And we know how problematic the royal family and just this, because this whole social construct and con game of whiteness was created in Europeans by wealthy Europeans, primarily, the aristocrat class, the royals that financed and bankrolled a chattel slavery and the transcontinental slave trade, and as they call, they invaded countries, colonized. That's really a sanitized term. I don't know who came up with the word. Great Britain colonized. Now what they mean? They invaded and murdered and raped and raped the country of its resources and destroyed the people. And just it's like somebody breaking into your house. That's really what it was. Like armed robbery. Colonization is just really a really clean, nice way of describing armed robbery, because that's what the British Empire and the royal family financed, a strong armed robbery of entire nations. That's what colonization was. But I digress. Let's bring it back to the British Academy, Film and Television Arts Awards. Now, this show was on one of the BBC channels. They have something, I talked about it, called, and all the major networks do. It's called a delay system. Some people call it a dump button, because literally there is a button. So what you are seeing when you watch a live show, what you are whatever you're looking at in that moment actually happened 7 seconds before. There's a certain delay, the way they run, the way they send the signal out. So you roughly have about 7 to 10 seconds to basically dump any offensive, racist, misogynist, sexist language, bigoted language. So the fact that the BBC didn't use that dump button says a lot. Now, apparently somebody on the show said something, I believe either they said something or had a sign or something saying free Palestine. Now they didn't show that. So you are offended by the Palestinians fighting so they can have a homeland? Free Palestine does mean that the people the Jews that live in Israel, shouldn't have a home either. They both should have a home. Now, I could get into the debate, before 1947, basically the state of Israel was created by the United States and Great Britain, the United Kingdom, among other countries, France. They created a home for primarily European Jews that have been survivors, victims of the Holocaust and of anti-Semitism. But that's a whole nother show. We talked about that before. So somehow, Free Palestine, just those words were offensive to the people of England and the United Kingdom, but saying the N-word was not. Now, there have been a significant number of people, especially, because I've been reading like the British tabloids and British newspapers. So there's a segment of the population in Europe, in the United Kingdom, and I'm sure some here, that says, well, now you can't, you have to understand, and Tourette's is a neurological disease, and this person he lacks impulse control, and all right, so multiple things. Some people say two things can be true. Actually, three things can be true. Multiple things can be true at the same time. So having any kind of neurological disease, whatever, it could be neurological, it could be anything, hypertension, diabetes, anxiety, stress, whatever. That's one thing. You can have compassion for a person that has any kind of medical condition, but having a medical condition, having a disability, does not excuse you from saying racist, bigoted, ignorant, sexist, misogynist shit. It does not excuse that. Full stop. So you're not helping people understand Tourette's by saying, well, he couldn't control himself. Because let's go back. Because, I've done enough research. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. So apparently people that have Tourette's, there's an impulse control, and in some cases, they, for whatever reason, their brain makes them say some of the most hateful things, evil things or disgusting things that may be in their brain. Now, let's stop right there. Here's the key word, brain. Here's the key phrase, in their brain. So I can have empathy and compassion for your neurological condition, but I am not going to excuse whatever's in your soul and your spirit that's connected to your brain that is stored in there. And the fact that this person with Tourette's syndrome did not yell out the N-word until two of the biggest movie stars, regardless of race, were presenting an award live that's seen globally. So you can make an argument that, well, it was hellified timing, because there were a lot of presenters. He didn't yell the N-word when white folks were presenting an award. So it's just kind of ironic that when the two black men, the two darkies got up there, the two black folks got up there with melanin, then all of a sudden his brain pulled out this N-word that was planted in his brain somewhere. It was in his brain, it was in his spirit and his soul. So that's a reflection on him and who he's been around. Because somebody, he heard it somewhere from somebody. So I can have compassion for his disorder, neurological disorder, but I will grant no passes and no excuses for him using the N-word. Now, having said that, I want to say a couple more things. It's not important what you call me. It's not important what you think of me. It's not important how you see me. As long as you don't put your hands on me, and you don't put your hands on my family, and you don't steal my money, you don't affect my money, what you think of me is insignificant. How you see me is insignificant. You don't have to like me. your feelings of me don't determine how I feel about myself. How you see me doesn't determine how I see myself. What you say about me is insignificant. Now, if you lie on me, then yeah, we will have a problem, because that is a pet peeve of mine. I will checkmate. I won't just check you. I will checkmate your ass if you lie on me. And move on. How you see me, what you think of me, the name you call me, anything that you have to say or think or feel about me is insignificant. That is not my problem. That is a you problem. I don't give a shit what you think of me. I don't give a shit about whatever standards you think that you want to judge me by. Your opinions and thoughts and feelings don't matter, don't mean shit to me. What matters is how I feel about myself. What matters is how I see myself. What matters is what I say about myself. What matters is how I see myself. Your perception of me is not my reality. Because the only person that can keep me from my greatness and my destiny is not you. Oh, you can try to throw salt in the gear and you throw sand in the engine. Oh yeah, you can try to muck it up and F it up. But at the end of the day, the biggest enemy that I will face every day is the person that I see in the mirror. When I get up in the morning and look in the mirror, that's going to be the biggest enemy that I will face every day, is myself. And make sure that I am being the best version of myself, and I'm not letting other people's perception of me, attitudes of me, feelings of me, the feelings, the actions, the behavior, whatever racist, ignorant beliefs they may have of me because of the melanin in my skin. The only way that matters if I buy into their bullshit. If I begin to see myself less than, because you thinking that I'm less than you? Oh no. No, you can think what you want to think. You can think that Santa Claus is going to pay you a visit tomorrow night. You can keep thinking whatever you want to think. What you think, it is insignificant. It don't matter. But what matters is what I think of myself. Now, if I begin to think about myself and think of myself as you may think of me, and if I buy into your bigotry and racism and begin to see myself through that prism of racism and bigotry, then that's a me problem. Then that's my problem. And I will never let your bigotry, your ignorance, your insecurity, your inferiority decide and determine how I see myself. And that's my message to encourage to each and every person out there. Now, I will say, I'm not an advocate of the N-word. Yes, I have used it, absolutely. I don't use it. I make it a point not to. And I just want to say this. We've been at this point, but we are at a point, now I'm speaking to black, not just Black America, but specifically because the word was, first of all, we as Black Americans, African Americans, Americans of African descent, we didn't invent the word. It was the European word that was, short, niggardly way, which was like bad behavior. So these races kind of remixed this word, English word, and came up with this slur to try to denigrate and to make African Americans feel less than. It was tied to the hatred and the violence That N word was the last thing that many black men and women heard before they were lynched, raped, murdered. That was the last thing that many of our ancestors heard. And then I get it. Just at some point, we had a generation or two that said, well, we're going to remix it. Why would we try to remix? It would be like you trying to remix poison. Well, you know, I got this poison. I got some cyanide. I got some poison, some rat poison. But I'm going to remix it. Let me throw some cinnamon and some sugar in there and, you know, and throw some basil or some thyme and no. Why would we try to remix poison? A word that was created to diminish, to denigrate, to emotionally and mentally destroy us. A word that was created and tied to hatred, bigotry, and violence. That N word is a violent word. It is tied to extreme violence. Lynching, murder, rape. So we should think about that. Why do we hold on to it? We are the most creative people on this planet. We have remixed food and music, dance, fashion, art, sports. Anything that we touch, we remix and make it better. But some things you just can't remix. No matter how many ingredients you put in it, it's poison. And you cannot dilute. There's some poison that is so strong, you can't dilute it. You can't try to remix it. No matter how much you throw into it to try to, even if it covers up the taste, it's still poison. So that's something to think about. Speaking of poison, there's a state of the disunion. There's the state of a liar address going on tonight. Watch something else. It's going to be plenty of clips. But there's one thing that you know that you will hear from the beginning to the end are lies. As a matter of fact, all lies. As a matter of fact, if his lips are moving, if Orange Hitler's lips, if his lips are moving, if his chest is going up and down, if he is breathing, he is lying. And as my grandmother said, he will stick to the lie. So you know he's going to not just lie, but stick like fly paper, like a snapping turtle, like just crazy glue. He is going to stick to the lie. Save your mind, save your mental, emotional, spiritual health, physical health. Find something, anything. Go to bed early. Watch a movie. Don't worry, the clips will be out there. But I'm going to have an interesting conversation tomorrow with a friend of the show. She's an author of multiple books. She's a motivational speaker. She's got an incredible one-day seminar for women's empowerment. Really an interesting conversation about the relationship between mothers and daughters. Trinace, friends call her Tracy. Trinace Carter is going to be my guest. Man, as a matter of fact, Trenace, Trinace Carter. I know she's got a very interesting post on Facebook. She might be on Instagram too. She might be on Blue Sky, maybe on Threads. But sir, I know her post is on Facebook because she tagged me. Talking about we need to kind of remixing stuff. Let's talk about the state of the union in our house. Let's start off there. Let's have a state of the union address about our home, then our community, our home, our neighborhood, our town, our city, our county, our state, What's the state of the union in your house? I said, that's profound, T. I said, invoice me, but I'm gonna give you credit. So she's gonna be on tomorrow. It's gonna be a very interesting conversation. So, all right, listen, thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you. Yes, you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Tell everybody, like, share, and subscribe to the Geno Jones Show. Call to action. I am very close to 1,000 new subscribers. That means my YouTube channel will get a monthly check from YouTube. Is it something on my hand, little finger there? Had to get that off. That's what I love about live TV. So spread the word, like, share, and subscribe. Oh, by the way, leave your comments in the comment section below, please, 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 please leave your comments in the comment section below. Thank you in advance, and spread the word to subscribe to this channel right now and share and like. Click on that thumbs up button. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. He's the CEO of Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro area. Check him out on Instagram, IG, Kel Be Cutting Up, KelBeCuttinup. Allie Jones, Allie Jones. She is the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check her out on IG, on Instagram, and her Lexi Jones collection out, lx.ncl_. The Geno Jones Show brought to you by the town of Hollywood, South Carolina, Mayor Shardell Murray and Murray's Mortuary. 3 locations here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro area. You have Hollywood, South Carolina. You have Johns Island, South Carolina, and North Charleston. Shout out to Mayor Shardell Murray. Shout out her councilwoman. I can't remember her name. She was on the show last week. I have so many guests. And so you will be seeing Mayor Murray and some more people from her administration and part of the city council. As guests on the show, they have a lot of great things going on in the town of, which is part of the Charleston, South Carolina metro area. So shout out and thank you, Mayor Shardell Murray. Now, if you would like to support the show financially, first, if you'd like to advertise or be a sponsor, I'd love to have you. Shoot me an email. I'll get you all the sponsorship information. Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Geno Jones Show. That's how you spell it right there. Geno Jones Show. See that? See that? There you go. Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Now, also, you can support the show financially using Zelle or Cash App. No amount too small or too large. Not at all. Whatever's on your heart, whatever's in your pocket, in your bank account, whatever attached to your Zelle or Cash App. So you can financially support the show via Zelle. Use my email address, once again, Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Cash App, $ Dad G Jones, $ capital D, lowercase a d, capital G J, lowercase ONES. $ Dad G Jones. I love you. Love is a verb. It is an action word. Show your love, and I'll see you live Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.
When Geraldine and I tell our girls about growing up in the 80s and 90s, it's like talking about a whole different planet. We used to play outside till the street lights came on. We drank straight out of the water hose, ran everywhere, explored, got lost, got hurt, busted our knees, our heads, and our butts. Nobody knew where we were, what we were doing, or who we were with. I'm Chris Jones. I'm a rocket scientist, a minister, and a girl dad. And I have a theory about why childhood and everything else feels different now. Because gravity hasn't changed, but the price of a trip to the hospital has. Blue jeans, Jordans, gas, groceries, and health insurance. Everything is more expensive, and it's scaring us out of risk, innovation, and the joy of life itself. It was more affordable to fall, to fail, to get back up. And our parents trusted America enough to let us run free. Bankruptcy was for gamblers and crooked real estate developers, not middle-class families, not teachers, not cancer patients. I'm running for Congress because the fall of the American working class wasn't an accident. It was a political decision. Meet my congressman, French Hill, the most powerful banker in America. He's my opponent, but he's your problem too. He chairs the Financial Services Committee and fights anything that looks like consumer protection. The law to limit overdraft fees to $5.
This is a change that could save American households $5 billion in overdraft charges every year.
French Hill killed it. Yep, they even found a way to make being broke more expensive. If there's anybody who's gotta go, it's him. I'm blessed. I studied hard, earned 2 degrees from Morehouse College, then 2 masters and a PhD from MIT. I married my best friend, who's a combat veteran and an ER doctor. God gave us 3 beautiful daughters, and along that journey, I earned the votes of 319,000 Arkansans who believe we deserve better. I have good news for you. You can still go outside till the streetlights come on. We call it organizing. Just you and a few friends fighting for your freedom, standing up for each other. We have 12 months to win this election. We have a poll that makes this a 1-point race and a grassroots organization that has been growing for 3.5 years. This district is full of fighters. We're doing the hard work, and we need you to join us.